What if I told you some of the most important inventions in human history were mistakes, not planned, not wanted? And when people first saw them, they were terrified. Doctors warned against them. Governments tried to ban them. Some people believed they were evil. Yet today, we can't live without them. On November 8, 1895, in Würzburg, Germany, physicist Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen was experimenting with cathode rays. Suddenly, he noticed a fluorescent screen across the room glowing, even though it was completely shielded from the experiment. He had stumbled upon something that could pass through solid objects. He called them X-rays. His first test subject was his wife, and when she saw the skeletal image of her own hand, she was horrified, exclaiming, "I have seen my death." The public reaction was just as extreme. Newspapers warned that these new rays could see through clothing, leading to a complete loss of privacy and moral decay. Some even claimed the rays could damage the human soul. But despite the fear, X-rays went on to revolutionize medicine, physics, and diagnostics, allowing us to see inside the human body without ever making an incision. A few years earlier, in the late 19th century, another invisible force was terrifying the public: electricity. As inventors like Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla began promoting their electrical systems, a wave of panic swept through society. People weren't just afraid of getting shocked. They were afraid of something much deeper. Electricity was blamed for causing insanity, moral corruption, and even death. Many believed that this artificial light and power disrupted the natural, God-given order of the world and the human body. Yet, this feared energy would go on to reshape our cities, power our industries, connect our world through new forms of communication, and become the very bedrock of modern life itself. And then there was the train. On September 27, 1825, the world's first public railway opened in England. The locomotive, puffing steam and smoke, reached speeds of over 30 kilometers per hour. To us, that's incredibly slow. But to people in the 1820s, it was terrifyingly fast. The human body had never moved at such a pace. Doctors issued dire warnings. They claimed that the violent motion could cause the heart to stop, the brain to be damaged, or even make women infertile. The sheer vibration and speed were thought to be completely unnatural. But the railway didn't just survive. It thrived. It forced the creation of standardized time zones, enabled mass travel for the first time in history, and completely transformed global economies by moving goods and people faster than ever imagined. Fast forward about a century to September 1928, a Scottish biologist named Alexander Fleming returned to his lab after a vacation. He was annoyed to find that one of his petri dishes, where he was growing bacteria, had been contaminated with mold. But as he looked closer, he noticed something incredible. Around the mold, all the bacteria had been completely destroyed. That mold was penicillium, and it had just revealed the world's first antibiotic. Initially, the medical community was skeptical. Doctors dismissed penicillin as an unstable and unreliable substance, too difficult to produce and use effectively. It took over a decade of further research to turn Fleming's accidental discovery into a mass-produced lifesaver. But once it was harnessed, antibiotics revolutionized medicine, saving hundreds of millions of lives from infections that were once a death sentence. The story of accidental discovery continues. In 1945, an American engineer named Percy Spencer was working on radar equipment for the military. One day, while standing in front of an active radar set, he noticed that the chocolate bar in his pocket had melted. He was intrigued. He tried putting some popcorn kernels near the device, and they popped all over the lab. He had just discovered the heating power of microwaves. When the first microwave ovens were introduced to the public, people were deeply suspicious. They feared that this invisible radiation would poison their food, leak out of the oven, and cause cancer. The idea of cooking food with waves instead of fire felt alien and dangerous. Today, of course, the microwave is a staple in kitchens around the world. completely transforming our cooking habits, food culture, and daily routines. Let's go back even further, to 1839, when a French artist and inventor named Louis Daguerre introduced his new invention to the world, photography. For the first time, a moment in time could be captured perfectly, frozen forever on a silver-coated copper plate. It was magical, but also deeply unsettling. Many people believed that the camera was a form of dark magic. They were convinced it could steal a person's soul or trap their very essence inside the photograph. Sitting for a portrait felt like giving a piece of yourself away. Some saw it as an affront to God, an attempt by humans to imitate the divine act of creation. But photography didn't just capture images. It changed our relationship with memory, identity, journalism, and history itself. And finally, around 1440, a German inventor named Johannes Gutenberg perfected his movable type printing press. This wasn't just a new machine. It was a revolution in information itself. Before Gutenberg, books were copied by hand, a slow and expensive process controlled by the church and the state. Suddenly, ideas could be reproduced quickly and cheaply. The authorities were terrified. They feared a complete loss of control. If anyone could print and distribute their own ideas, how could they control religion, politics, or public opinion? They were right to be afraid. The printing press fueled the Renaissance, the Reformation, the scientific revolution, and the rise of mass education, fundamentally changing how knowledge was shared and created. Again and again, history shows the same pattern. It starts with an accident, a surprise, a discovery no one was looking for. Then comes the fear and the resistance from a public that doesn't understand it. And finally, after the chaos settles, comes a total transformation of society. Innovation doesn't arrive politely. It arrives early, and it scares people first. Every single device you use, every piece of technology that shapes your day, was once feared. Every major breakthrough was once misunderstood. And it seems every generation believes that progress has finally gone too far, that this new thing is the one that will break us. Until one day, it just becomes normal. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through history's accidental inventions, subscribe for more stories that changed the world.